Hi, my name is Rochelle Marcus. I work with the Education Legal Rights Project at Legal Aid. Our job is to evaluate, educate, and empower our clients and their families to be able to advocate for their children and their educational needs. We service children from birth to age 22. We help a family discover if their child is in fact a child with a disability, or if the family already knows that the child has a disability. We assist them in accessing appropriate education and services for them within the public school and their options. When I first met John, he was in 9th grade. His reading level was at a 2nd grade level, and he struggled to even do basic math skills. His mother was trying to access everything she could at school. She attended meetings. She looked for resources outside of school to help her and assist her, but she found that she wasn't able to advocate completely for John.
Before legal aid, John's report cards wasn't as good. In a sense, they was giving him basic grades, passing grades, D's, and that's when I started asking questions. How did John get to the D? And she stated to me that John could possibly have dyslexia because he was seeing the letters in reverse. Looking at dealing with John one-on-one every day, I knew he had a little slowness there. But as his mother, I'm always saying, okay, well, some of us pick up things quicker than others, some of us don't. He was talking different. Some of his words they was coming out backwards instead of the way they were supposed to, and he was, instead of saying the whole word, he was saying half of it. Disability is his language impairment, and like I say, he tested at a mental disability state. I had asked John Schooling for certain help in his education where he can get more one-on-one with his reading. Special clubs, they were saying that it was a budget thing that they couldn't provide with certain education needs for, the ESE students and things like that. It was like a format that they was telling me, oh, John is where he's at, he's improving, that it will get better as time go on. But he was in the 9th grade. I was saying how much longer would it take? And it was just like they was reading a script to me every time I went.
I felt like all these kids that know how to read and do math was on this island that was gonna make it. I was on this other island where I couldn't make it, where I was just gonna be no one, just a nobody.
It seemed like to me that they really wasn't there for the students. So as I continued to go through the IEP classes, I felt like John was still being left behind. So that what drew me to legal aid to get more assistance to, get better help for John.
In Broward County, like most places in the country, teachers and counselors are trained to deal with these issues, but they're simply overwhelmed. That's where we come in.
Rochelle Marcus came in, she met me and John at the school. John was in class, they pulled him out, he came to the meeting. We was, each one of his teachers has to be brought in. They have to bring their work, they have to show something. As of course, they didn't show up with anything. Rochelle, we sat there and we listened to where they were stating to us where John was. And John was behind. John was on a 2nd grade reading level, 2nd grade math, everything was 2nd grade, and my son is like in a 9th, 10th grade, and it was unsatisfactory, in where they were just basically teaching him kindergarten stuff, from what I could get, the few papers that I can get from him, it was just scrabble, and it was unacceptable for me. So we came in and Rochelle requested certain educational programs to be put in place, and we finally got to that point.
I could read and know math without being speechless.
Overlooking a correctable learning disability invariably ends in tragedy.
What would have happened to John, probably happened to most kids. They so hurt about not knowing, not being where they're supposed to be in school, that they turn to drugs, they turn to robbery, and they wind up in jail or being killed on the street somewhere.
Catching a disability early in a child's life pays off in the end because we end up with a valuable citizen in our society rather than a child who's sitting in a jail cell or a child who ends up not being able to function and provide for his family and our community.
He's doing his own banking, he's paying bills, and that's what they work on in school. They banking, they writing out checks, doing it with the ATM, bank cards and things and as such. John can basically, if I'm not there, I feel comfortable to say that he's in that transition phase, that he could make it on his own without a doubt, because he's getting to the 100% level.
The real quantitative test for a student like John is his ability to independently live on his own and go forth into the future. John is accomplishing that.
Now my son, John, where before he didn't even want to read because he couldn't read, but now he's reading Shakespeare, Hamlet, Othello. He's into the Greek gods, Zeus, Hercules, all of them. It's breathtaking that I would never thought my son would be interested in those kind of books and coming home eager to read those to me. He sits there, no mama, wait, let me finish.
We bring the right people to the table so that we can evaluate, educate, and empower our clients so that they can be successful in their future.
He overcome the odds. He's 100% better than what he was. And I have to give that credit to Rochelle, to Legal Aid. I have to give that.
I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest. And I'm that little bit of hope when my back's against the ropes. I can feel it, I'm the world's greatest.